From big bites to bold blunders, wild animals are definitely not to be messed around with. In this video, I'm introducing you to 10 people who forgot just how wild some animals can be and decided to get up close and personal with them in a way that no one will ever forget. If you enjoy other people's sheer stupidity, this is the channel for you. Please subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a new Darwin video. Alrighty, let's dive in. Number 10. Not fast enough food. Peter G., 32, was an accomplished big cat keeper. With his huge heart and a gift of connecting with animals, this former Tulsa zookeeper was the perfect volunteer at Safari's Animal Sanctuary in Broken Arrow. Perfect until the liger incident. You may ask, as we did, what's a liger? Ligers are unusual animals, a sterile cross between a male lion and a female tiger, and, like mules, not a species in their own right. Although a liger is an evolutionary dead end, this powerful hybrid is the largest of cats. Rocky, the liger that lived in Broken Arrow, was known as a big baby, but he was in no way a domestic animal. The wildlife sanctuary manager said, "In all my years, we've stressed that whatever you do, don't open that gate." Peter opened that gate. For reasons we may never know, he violated the rules and entered the liger cage during feeding time, only to become an appetizer for the hungry carnivore. Although he dragged himself out of the cage before becoming the main course, he passed at the hospital that very night. Peter was loved, and he will be missed, but he was well aware of the dangers posed by captive wild animals. By not following very obvious safety rules, Peter was behaving with all the care and caution typical of a Darwin Award winner. Number 9. Don't tease the elephants. It's no secret that elephants are big. Elephants eat hundreds of pounds of food a day just to maintain their weight. Indian elephants are 9 feet tall at the shoulder. They're so powerful that in Southeast Asia, males are used to haul massive tree trunks with their 3-foot tusks, work performed by heavy equipment in other countries. It's also no secret that teasing an animal makes it mad. Teasing an animal that can carry a tree with its tusks may not be a good idea. Yet that was the very idea that formed in Prawat's head when he saw a herd of 5 performing elephants chained to trees outside a Buddhist temple. While the owner waited inside for an entertainment permit, Prawat, a 50-year-old rubber tapper, offered a sugar cane to one of the ever-hungry elephants, then pulled it away. Then he did it again, and again, and again. The game was great fun for Prawat, but the elephants quickly tired of it. The last time Prawat withdrew the treat, the elephant swung his massive tusks and gave Prawat a treat of his own. Prawat died on the way to the hospital. The elephant got his treat. Number 8. Kung Fu Lion. A rather impressionable student of Kung Fu listened with rapt attention when his instructor dramatically informed the class, "Now that you have reached this level in your training, you can end wild animals with your bare hands." The martial arts trainee took the statement as gospel and headed to the Melbourne Zoo to test his bravery with the wildest animal of all, the lion. In the dead of night, he slipped into the zoo, leapt into the lion enclosure, and engaged a suitable king of the jungle in combat. He would probably have lost a one-on-one fight, but he never got to try. His naive fight plan didn't account for the enthusiasm of the lion's pride for a tender intruder. Nor did it give sufficient weight to the possibility that his instructor didn't know what the heck he was talking about. It seems this Kung Fu master was lying about the true capabilities of Kung Fu. Number 7. Bare naked for beers. It's well known that alcohol impairs judgment. It's well known that carnivorous wild animals and humans don't mix. What happens when we combine all 3? One might expect men, beer, and bears to lead to lethal consequences. Such was the case for a 23-year-old man who fed himself to Masha and Misha at the Belgrade Zoo. His untouched clothes suggest that he approached the bears bare naked by choice. The bears, fearing that his intentions were as dishonorable as they were ill-informed, gave out a quick injustice. The man's beat-up body was found inside the bear habitat, along with plenty of beer cans. Masha and Misha reacted angrily when zookeepers tried to recover their new treat, but were eventually persuaded to give up their prize. The zoo director said only an idiot would jump into the bear cage. Number 6. Ninja Deer Hunter. A man from southeast Texas was out hunting in one of his favorite spots. He was perched in a stand by an open creek when one morning he heard a deer below at his back. He didn't dare risk turning to look for fear of scaring the animal. He waited until the large buck sauntered just under the tree he was in. Apparently, he must not have had time to carefully determine his next course of action. Rather than lean down and shoot the deer, he opted to attack it with a large hunting knife. I know, I thought it was a brilliant idea too. Not. Positioning himself in a cat-like crouch, he pounced on the deer, intending to close the deal on what would have been an awesome hunting tale for many years to come. But when he landed, the trajectory of the knife was slightly askew. He swung the knife, aiming for the deer, but instead came in contact with his own thigh. Since he landed primarily on the deer, it had no choice but to defend itself with its large rack into the man's face. The hunter lost consciousness following the headbutt. He appeared to have been dragged about 40 yards. It seemed his shirt had been caught on the deer's antler, causing him to stay on the buck after the 8-second buzzer. Number 5. Elephants press back. Increased mining and recent rains in southeast India have unsettled the wildlife. A team of 4 journalists decided to interview this herd of rogue elephants. They went into the forest in search of the hooligans on foot. They were themselves the hooligans, apparently. Elephants are big and elephants are fast. A person can't outrun an elephant. But these intrepid journalists apparently assumed that a press pass grants immunity. With a nose for news, the journalists sniffed out the herd. Once located, it was only natural to capture the photogenic animals on film. Unfortunately, the elephants were camera shy. Angered by the flash, the irritated herd charged the paparazzi, miraculously maiming only one of the 4. His remains could not be retrieved. Number 4. Snake Man. During his snake handling performance, Boon Ryung, the Snake Man, was bitten on the right elbow by a deadly mamba. While a lesser mortal may have rushed to a doctor for a dose of antivenom, the daring 34-year-old had his own treatment method. He downed a shot in some herbal medicine, but alcohol and herbs are not generally recognized as effective against snake bites. It was on with the show, until paralysis gradually took hold and he collapsed. At this point, he was unable to speak and thus raised no objections as bystanders took him to the hospital. But it was too late. The poison had spread through his body and he died the same day. Ironically, Boon Ryung is immortalized in the Guinness Book of World Records for having spent 7 days in a room full of venomous snakes in 1998. Number 3. Delhi Sandwich. Life of Pi move over. Maksud has a tale to tell. This 19-year-old factory worker joined a white tiger for lunch yesterday after being cautioned twice to not climb over the fence enclosing the tiger enclosure. Maksud climbed over the fence a 3rd time and then swam across the moat over to Tiger Island. Never pet a kitty that isn't yours. The white tiger went tiger on the intruder and buffeted our buddy, subsequently dragging him around the island for 2 hours until the animal was finally scared into a cave and the body was retrieved. Number 2. Lion's Lunch. Safaris can be quite the exciting adventure. Being up close and personal with all the wild animals, some people like to get a little closer than recommended. Kruger National Park, South Africa, you can sit in your car nice and cozy and drive through the wildlife preserve. The keywords here being sit in your car. One woman at Kruger National Park decided against this advice. As she approached a lioness and her cubs, she simply couldn't resist that perfect photo opportunity. Her husband recalls her saying the cubs were not posed correctly, so she got out of the car, picked one of them up to move it closer to its sibling. Needless to say, the lioness shared her with the cubs. Bonus: Tortoise Turmoil. This one technically isn't a Darwin winner due to the fact that he had 2 children, but I couldn't resist sharing this with you because, well, just listen. When you think of a tortoise, you think something big, slow, and usually pretty tame, not something to run in fear from. One ancient Greek playwright would beg to differ if he could look back and see a tortoise. Aeschylus returned to Sicily for the last time in 458 BC. It is said that he was staying outdoors to avoid a prophecy that he would be killed by a falling object. Well, a lot of good that did him. An eagle was flying by with a tortoise clutched in its claws. It was looking for a rock to drop the tortoise on, breaking the shell and providing its next delicious dinner. Poor Aeschylus and his bald head looked like the perfect large object to drop a tortoise on. He let go of the tortoise with perfect aim, and Aeschylus was no more. Apparently, the prophecy said nothing about the falling object coming from the sky, or being a tortoise. Number 1. Snake Smarts. Everyone knows the dangers snakes can pose, especially the venomous ones. Our last winner on this list met his demise by a snake, but not in the way you would expect. In 1991, a man from Cyprus saw a snake and decided he would catch it. A witness reported that the victim, named Ali, tried to catch the snake alive by pressing the butt of his shotgun behind its head. The snake coiled around the butt and pow! Ali never saw it coming. No word on whether or not the snake got away. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Darwin Awards. Can't wait for the next video? Watch this one here, or watch this playlist for non-stop Darwin entertainment.